We begin this morning with growing questions for President Biden and the handling of classified documents after serving in the Obama administration and before becoming president.
According to a person familiar with the matter, at least one additional batch of documents marked classified has been found. The initial discovery of documents was made public earlier this week. Those files were discovered in the Washington office Mr. Biden used after he was vice president. Those documents are now under review by the DOJ. Now, that source tells NBC News this second set of files was found in a different location and that aides have been searching for any additional classified materials that might be in other locations since November. So far, the White House has not replied to a request for comment, and the Justice Department had no comment. On Tuesday, President Biden said he was cooperating fully. For the latest, let's bring in NBC News White House correspondent Allie Raffa. Allie, good morning. So first of all, what can you tell us about this new batch of documents that were found, and what more do we know about the search for any potential additional documents?
Yeah, Joe, good morning. Well, remember, we had way more questions than answers even after that first discovery of that batch of classified documents before my colleagues at the White House, Carol Lee, Mike Memoli, and Ken Delanian at the Justice Department got this scoop yesterday that at least one more batch of classified documents had been found. And what we do know right now is that after that initial discovery, Biden's team went searching through several other properties, several other offices, looking for more documents that may exist to be able to turn them over to the National Archives, give them to the Department of Justice to review. We don't know exactly when or where these documents were discovered, but we can assume that President Biden's two homes in Delaware, as well as any other offices he used during his time after the vice presidency, before his presidency, any offices he used during that time. We also don't know the level of classification of these documents, what exactly is inside of them, and how exactly they ended up not just at the Penn Biden Center, but wherever this second batch was found. So definitely a lot of questions still to be answered at this moment.
We have been talking about documents for months now. That's because last summer, the FBI searched former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. That turned up more than 100 documents with classified markings. That search happened after the FBI learned that Trump had not fully complied with a previous subpoena. So now earlier this week, Republican Congressman James Comer sent a letter to the White House counsel's office requesting more information on what's happening now. What's the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy saying about all this?
Yeah, Joe, well, you can imagine Republicans are seeing this as sort of the gift that keeps on giving. They had already planned to launch probes into President Biden and his family members. Now this is just adding fuel to the fire. So you saw what Representative Comer sent over. Then you have Senators Hawley and Lindsey Graham calling for AG Garland to appoint a special counsel like we saw in the former President Trump's case. And then we heard the current House Speaker Kevin McCarthy speak about this yesterday. Listen to what he had to say.
Every time we find something that comes out before the election dealing with Biden's family, it's pushed under the rug. It's called a lie. It's called the Russians are doing it. And now, why did they treat President Trump totally different than the DOJ? We'll get to the bottom of it, because they treat people differently based upon their philosophical political party, and that is wrong, and America dislikes that.
Republicans pointing out what they think are similarities in these cases, but the White House is pointing out differences between this case involving President Biden and former President Trump. They say that former President Trump was subpoenaed multiple times and repeatedly asked for those documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate, ignored those subpoenas, which led to the FBI searching Mar-a-Lago. And they say that President Biden, in this case, his team immediately turned the small batch of documents, at least discovery of documents, over as soon as they found to the DOJ as well as the National Archives.
All right, Allie, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.